Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and enable bell notification to never miss an update from us.
Hello friends, welcome to Entri. I am Mirza Shambeg, your quant educator, and today I am going to discuss a very interesting portion from your DI section. Look at this. I am going to discuss about tabular DI. In fact, the DI is of a previous year DI, which is I have taken this DI from SBI Clerk mains. So you will get to know about the idea how to tackle this kind of questions. First of all, before I come to the tabular DI, as I have already introduced you about all the types of DIs in a separate video, but in this video I will start with tabular DI. So what is the tabular DI and what should be the approach to deal with such a question? All right. First of all, let me take you to the previous homework question, or you can say previous class, previous videos homework question. Look at this. I have taught you previously about simplification. Simplification plays a major part in your examination strategy, because this is the most important thing, and as you know that it is one of the scoring portion as well. Now look at this. This is an important question. How can you solve this question? First of all, you should know that there is under root 7 plus 11 to the whole square and question mark to the power 1 by 3 plus 2 into square root of 847. If you know something, you will know that once you have got 2, 3, 7 or 8 at unit place in such a number which is under square root, then you will know that the square root of that number wouldn't be possible. So how can you solve it? You will have to open the whole square formula. What is the whole square formula? A square plus b square plus 2ab. All right, and you will suppose x for question mark, and after that, as you know that the hidden concept is that once you have got a value in square root 7, you will definitely know that since you know that this number doesn't belong to any perfect square number, that means it has to be a multiple of 7 because of the equal portion elimination. Look at this. When you simplify 847, you will get to know that it will be a product of 7 into 121, and 121 is the perfect square of 11. So 11 will come out of square root and it will become 22 root 7 plus 122. Okay, so these two numbers will be eliminated, and x to the power 1 by 3 would be equal to 6. That means your x value has to be equal to 216. So this was a very important question, in fact a previous year question as well. So I have solved it, and I hope you got your solution correctly. And look, whenever I give you a homework question, just go to the video and put the answer in the comment box, because it will generate interest. Let's go ahead. Let me talk you about the tabular DI. First of all, you should read about this tabular DI. Look, the table DI below shows percentage of men out of total men who worked on odd days in 3 different months. So these 3 different months are March, April, August. Okay, and rest of the men are working on even days of the respective month. Study the table carefully and answer the following. First of all, read the table, because you will have to interpret this data. Look at this. It is given as total number of men worked. So in March, total number of men worked was 1000, while 30% were worked on odd days. That means 70% has worked on even days. Okay, similarly in April, 20% has worked on odd days. That means 80% has worked on even days. And in August, 60% work. If 60% works on odd days, that means 40% has worked on even days. So we have find out the separated data, but you should also know that in March, as you know that March is the closing month of the financial year closing, so it has 31 days, while August has also 31 days, but April has 30 days. So we have written all the data and made a conclusion as well. Now what we can do is, look at this, total man hours. You will have to find total man hours every time, and the formula has been given for total man hours is total man worked total day of work into 8 hours, as each man works 8 hours per day. So it is clear. Look, first of all, you should know that in March, number of odd days will be 16, while even days will be 15. But in April, both the type of days will be equal, while in August, number of odd days will be 16, while even days will be 15. So you have got a fair idea. Now, how can you solve this question? Total man hours on odd days of March is what percent of the total? So basically this belongs to the total man hours. So we don't have to solve or simplify. Look, we don't have to multiply each and every number. What we can do is we will simplify it by eliminating the values, or you can say common terms. Look at this. Total man hours of March. Okay, March. So I have write down March on odd days is what percent of the total man hours on even days of April. April. So you'll have to do this. What we can do is, as you know that in March, first of all in March, odd days were 16. Now what we can do? As we know that first of all you should know that total number of man worked. So in odd days, total number of man worked was 300. Okay, while how many odd days were there? 16 odd days, while 8 hours will be same for both of them. Now divide by, and now let's talk about the April. Look at this. In April we have got 80% on even number of days. So how can you solve this? 1500 of 80%, that means 4 by 5. Now and multiply it with, so in even, or whether we are talking about even or odd in terms of in the month of April, we will do the same value, 15, and 8 will also be same. So by this 8 will get eliminated. Okay, here we have got this 0, and now 4. Now how can you solve this? So we have left with 4 by 15 into 100. That means 5 3 and 520. That means we have got 80 by 3. So we will get 26 whole 2 by 3%. So we have got a correct answer, and we will get the option as A. Alright, so you should be aware about the month. Alright, let's go ahead. Right, let's see what the next question is saying. Look at this question. They're asking you about calculation. As we can see that looking at the option, we will get to know about the calculation part of this DI. As you can see that it is given in terms of total man hours or in terms of value. So how can you solve this? Total man hours of April is how much more or less than total man hours of August. That means we have to compare the 2 months man hours, April and August. All right, let's start it. Let's start this. First of all, we need to find about April. As we know that in April we have got 30 days. That means even and odd days, both of them will be equal. Both the type of days will be equal, which is 15. Now if these two things are equal, that means your calculation will become easier, because 1500 will always be a common part. And as you can see that for first 15 days, or you can say for odd number of days, there will be 15 days, and 20% workers will be available for a total of 1500 workers. Now, and for the last, or you can say, and for the even number of days, 80% workers will be available. So we have got clearly that 1515 is the common part, while 100% will become the sum of these two, and the common part for total man hours would be of 8 hours, because in both the condition, each man works 8 hours a day. So it will become a common part. That means 1500 into 8 into 15. So how can we solve this? 15 8s are 120, that means 12,000, which would be multiplied with, and your answer would be 1,80,000. Okay, so we have found the total man hours, which would be equal to 1,80,000. All right, now we have to find the total man hours for what? August. So let me erase these things because I don't have much space left. Now for August, as we know that in August odd number of days were 16 while even number of days were 15. So how can we solve this? First of all, as you know that for first 16 days, so 750 would have been common for first 16 days, or you can say for odd number of days, which would be 16 number of days. All right, 60% workers will be available. All right, but what would happen when we see that for the next, or you can say for the next 15 days, or you can say even number of days, 40% workers will be available and 8 will be a common part. So you will multiply 75 with 8. So 8 5s are 40, 8 7s are 56, that means 6,000. 6,000, if you take the percentage out, that means 100 out, you will know that 16 into 60 plus 15 into 40. So you will take out another 20. You will take out another 20 and you will get to know that, and you will get what? 60 into 20, that means you will be left with 16 into 3 plus 15 into 2, and 1200 multiplies with 48 plus 30, that means 78. All right, 78. Now 12 8s are 96, 12 7s are 84, and 93, that means 93,600. So what you can do is, as you can clearly see that 1,80,000 is way more than 93,600. So you will do a difference. You will take the difference because it is necessary to give the answer. How can you solve this? As you can see that you will be left with 86,400, which would be a clear answer. So your option D has to be clear. You don't have to solve all the values because you will only solve the last 3 digit and you will get the answer clearly, because only last 3 digit will give you answer, because it will be left with 4 digit. All right, 4 number. Let's go ahead. Look at this. Find the ratio between man hours, total man hours on even days of March to total man hours on even days of August. So we have to find the ratio of March and August. For which days? Even days. So they are talking about even days. Now in March, you know that there will be only 15 days which are even days. So first of all, you should know that 30% belongs to odd number of days, that means 70%, which would be equal to 700, is 700 persons, or you can say workers, belongs to even number of days, and those even number of days will be 15, and 8, each worker works for 8 hours a day. All right, so we have found out this data. Now what we can do is, we will have to find out the data of August. As you know that in August there will be 15 number of days as well, but we are talking about even days, that means 750, 40% of 750 has to be even days. So what we can become 140. Oh sorry, 4 5s are 24, that means 300, sorry. And these three things are common, that means your ratio has become 7:3. Look at this. Look, what you can do is, you will eliminate the common part, because once you are getting into calculation, you will definitely get stuck in the time frame. So you don't have to do that. Look at the method, just look at the method. This is very efficient. Look at this. We are talking about even days of the month of March, while even days of the month of August, and both the months belongs to 31 days. That means their even number of days has to be equal. If even number of days has to be equal, that means in terms of ratio, this 8 hours a day data has to be common for both of them. That means 8 will already be eliminated while the number of days will also be eliminated. That means only number of man worked will be left. So you will find out the number of man worked and you will get to know the answer very easily. So it was an easy question. Let's go ahead. Look at this. The percentage and the ratio questions, the questions belongs to percentage pattern or ratio pattern will become easier once you find out the common parts and eliminate them. Look at this. Man hour on odd days of April. Man hour on odd days of April. Man hour odd days of April. Okay. Is how much percent less than man hours on odd days of August. So that means April odd and August odd. We have to compare the odd number of days data of April as well as for August. What we can do is we will know that in April we have got 15 days. All right, 15 days, as because in April we will get 30 number of days for the month, which means either we're talking about odd number of days or we're talking about even number of days. Both the type of data will be equal in terms of days. But in August, in August, we know that the odd number of days will become 16. Now, as you know that the 8 hours per day data has to be common in both the case, that means it will be eliminated. Now we have to find out the total man worked for odd number of days in April, which would be 20%, that means 300, and odd number of days and in the month of August we will know that 60% workers worked in odd number of days. So 60% of 750 would be 450. Now what we can do is we will eliminate this method. Look at this. 15 2s are 15 3s are. That means 3 5 2 8. Now as we know that the only ratio has been left is 5:8. That means the odd hours for April will be in terms of 5 ratio. Odd hours for August will be in terms of 8 ratio. Now they are asking about April is how much percent less. So April is clearly 3 less than 8. So 3 by 8 into 100 will be the percentage, and that would be 37.5. Just look at the method. It will generate interest because I'm teaching you in an organized way. So remember this organized way and you will definitely learn the concept of dealing the DI. As I have told you in the video of in the introduction video of DI. Let's go ahead. The next part is very important. Look at this. What is the average of man hours on even days of all 3 months? Look at this. Man hours on even days. So we have to find out the man hours of even days. First of all, what we can do is we will take the common part as 8. It will become easier. Now, as you know that 1000 number of men worked on in the month of March, but only 30% worked in odd number of days. That means 70% worked on even number of days. But how many even number of days will be there? 15, because 16 will be an odd number of days and 15 will be a even number of days. All right, so 15 would be even number of days. Now next month is April. As we know that either we are talking about even number of days or we are talking about odd number of days. Both the type of number of days will be equal. But as you know that 1500 workers worked in the month of April, but only 20% worked in odd number of days. That means 80% worked on even number of days, which would be equal to 1200. Okay, and 1200 multiplies with 15 as well, because we're talking about even number of days. And the next month is August. The 750 people worked in the total month of August. But as we know, we are talking about even number of days. Only 40% workers worked on even number of days, which would be 2 by 5. That means 300 workers worked on even number of days. And as we can see that even number of days belongs to only 15 because August has also 31 number of days. So basically 15 is the common part. Alright, 15 is the common part, or you can say that 1500 is the common part, which would be multiplied with 8. And you will take down 7 plus 12 plus 3. And you will divide it by 3 because you have to take out the average. That means 4000 multiplies with 1922. That means 88,000 would be a correct answer for this question. So I hope you enjoyed this session because I have taught you very slowly. That's why so you can understand this concept. Because if you wouldn't be able to understand, you will not be able to solve any question which comes in front of you as a surprise package. So the surprise package has to be dealt with the calm minds. The number of practice you will do will get you benefited. So here is my homework question. As you can see that you will solve it and you will put the answer in the comment box. Okay, I want you all to comment in the comment box of this video. So that's it from my side. If you want some more questions like this, you will have to go and attempt free daily live IBPS RRB rank booster quiz. And the link of this rank booster quiz will be given in the description of this video. What you will get in the rank booster quiz? You will get daily live quiz at 10 a.m. and for 15 questions for 15 minutes. You will get 15 questions for 15 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed this session. If you like this session, share and comment, and don't forget to subscribe this YouTube channel. Alright, you will know, and install our Entri app as well. You will get this Entri app from Play Store. So till then, thank you. When we meet in the next class, we will solve some more type of DIs.